Tires are life. If you're gonna be doing Unbound Gravel or any gravel race, event, or ride where you care about performance, it's no exaggeration to say that your tires are probably the most important setup decision that you're gonna make. Now, they have the biggest influence on your performance, on how your bike feels, and there's a lot of considerations. So I'm gonna go over what I think the best gravel race tires are right now and what I'm gonna be running at Unbound Gravel this year. Now there are 6 key considerations when it comes to choosing gravel tires. Those are gonna be rolling resistance, puncture protection, width, tread, weight, and price. Now, no single tire is gonna be the best in all 6 of these categories. There's always gonna be trade-offs. But when it comes to choosing gravel tires for racing, the 2 biggest you need to consider is probably rolling resistance versus puncture protection. So the idea is to find the perfect balance between the 2. At Unbound, a fast rolling tire can make a huge difference, especially over such a long distance. It's a pretty fast course, it's rolling terrain, there's not any big climbs, so it's really easy to stick with fast groups. But also on the flip side, the terrain is notorious for shredding tires. They call it the Flint Hills. There's a lot of flint rock gravel there, which is the same stone they used to make arrowheads. It can shred tires. The roads are also, a lot of them are really remote. They're not very well maintained, so they have a lot of holes and ruts and big rocks just embedded in the road. And they're really easy to hit, so you can pinch flat really easily. Also, the creek crossings, they have sniper rocks sometimes that can hit your rim and cause you to pinch flat also, so puncture protection is super important. Now, as for width, my recommendation is just to run the widest tire that your bike can fit. For most gravel bikes, that's gonna be a 40 to 45 millimeter wide tire. For the south course of Unbound, a 40 millimeter tire is totally fine, but since the north course is a lot rougher, I'm actually gonna run a 45 millimeter or wider tire just because it'll offer more traction, more comfort, more confidence. You can run lower pressures too, which is really nice. As for tread, I really like a low profile, fast rolling tread. There's not really any single track or super technical terrain there, so you don't need a big knobby tire. But if you aren't very confident in your descending or cornering skills, you could run a knobbier front tire, which will help you get some bite, and you could keep a faster, low profile tire on the rear. It's a really good strategy to use. And as for weight, just wouldn't worry about weight. You know, all the tires we're gonna talk about today, they're around the same weight, so not really that big a consideration. I would save weight considerations for a much faster race like Steamboat Gravel or something like that. And then the last thing is price. A lot of these gravel tires are gonna cost between $60 and $90 per tire, so choose a tire you can afford. Sometimes that's the best tire. So you could spend hours and hours researching tires, but I'm gonna make it easy and give you a list of these 7 tires that I've liked, that I've tested over the last 3 years that I think are great options for a race like Unbound or any gravel race. Put them right here. These are the tires. Now, I'm gonna go over my top 4 options from this list, but before I do, I wanna mention the Maxxis Rambler. Super popular tire. I really like this tire. I think it handles great in loose terrain. It's the tire that Keegan Swenson used to win last year, and I used it in 2017 to get my best result there. I'm not gonna run it this year though, because when it's tested, it actually is about 5 to 10 watts slower than the other tires on this list. If you're a tire nerd, you've probably heard of the website bicyclerollingresistance.com. The testing, not perfect, but for normal people like you and me, it's probably the best resource we have to compare tires in a sort of objective way. So it's what I use. Now, if you look at the results of the gravel tires tested there, the 2 fastest tires that are in this 40 to 45 millimeter range that I think will work for Unbound are first the Schwalbe G-One RS and the Continental Terra Speed. These are both super fast tires. Of the 2, I probably like the Schwalbe a bit more. It's really low profile, but actually I think it handles loose corners really well. They've done a really good job with this transition to the side knobs. And I have had really good luck with it. It's also won Unbound twice. It won last year, the women's race under Carolyn Schiff. It won 2 years ago under Ivar Slick, but they wear out super fast. I get less than a full season on both these tires, which is kind of a bummer, but I mean, they're super fast, so it's kind of the price you pay. I also have flatted both these tires multiple times in like normal training rides. A lot of that could be bad luck. It could be dumb lines, but that sort of thing does really affect your confidence in a tire. So this year, I'm actually gonna run tires that have a little more puncture protection. And it's really, I think, between two main tires, the Challenge Getaway XP and the Specialized Pathfinder. This one is the 47mm Pathfinder. This is the 45mm Getaway XP. Both of these tires have really good puncture protection. They also last forever. I've literally never worn out a pair of either of these tires before deciding to replace them. And I'm talking about getting over 3,000 miles or so on a set of tires, which is amazing. That makes them pretty good value. And last year, I did all of my racing on this Getaway XP. I think it's a really awesome tire. It handles really well in the loose stuff. It's really tough. I've ridden some really gnarly trails on it, like single track trails. It's also the easiest challenge to mount that I've ever used. I didn't need to use like a bead jack or anything. I mounted it really easy with a single tire lever, which is really nice for a challenge tire. It's a handmade casing, so it's relatively fast. You do give a few watts compared to these tires, but I'm a big fan. So the only reason I'm not running this tire again this year is because I want fresh, brand new tires before Unbound, and the Pathfinder is about $30 cheaper per tire. And also, this is a proven tire. The Pathfinder has won Unbound multiple times. And also, I really like this 47mm width. I have it installed on my race wheels right now. So these are Vision SC30 AGX carbon wheels. They're under 1,400 grams. They have a 23mm internal rim width. They also are hooked, if that matters to you. The 47mm Pathfinder actually measures 45mm on this rim. So I think if you want to get that full 47mm width, you probably need a 25mm internal rim, but that's fine with me. I'm still keeping my same Getaway XPs from last year on my spare wheels. You know, just in case something happens, I'm a little scarred from my wheel breaking last year, so I'm bringing a spare set of wheels also. I'm also planning to add a couple upgrades to my tires. Now, the first thing is tire inserts. So I actually have these CushCore gravel inserts already installed in my spare wheels. I've been riding inserts for years now. I use them on all my mountain bikes. They let you run lower pressures. They also provide like a buffer between the rim and the tire, which helps prevent pinch flats. At Unbound, if you're riding in a fast group behind someone, usually you can't see a lot of rocks or holes, so it's really easy to smash your tire into one of these and pinch flatten it. And so an insert is really useful for preventing that. The one downside probably is that they are pretty heavy. A single CushCore gravel insert is like 110 or 120 grams. It's not negligible. I have been trying these Tubolight inserts, which are 33 grams, I believe, so they're much lighter, but I kind of don't have as much confidence in them. They're a lot softer. You can see here, I've torn a bunch of these. They're really easy to tear, so my feeling is that when it comes down to it, I'm probably going to install my CushCores on my race wheels the month before Unbound. The other thing I would really look at is your sealant. So when I'm training, I use Orange Steel Endurance, but for the race week, I'm going to switch to Silca Ultimate. Now this, I think legit is the best sealant on the market right now when it comes to sealing punctures. It uses this carbon fiber filament with a foaming latex that's really good at sealing pretty large punctures. The reason I don't use it on a day-to-day basis though is that it's kind of annoying to live with. It's super sticky. You can't inject it through the valve, so you have to, open the tire up, you have to break the bead and pour it in directly. That's kind of annoying and messy, and it also really clogs your valves super easily, so you have to be really conscious of it when you're pumping up your tires, and it dries out a lot faster than something like Stan's or Orange Seal Endurance. So it's something, if you're gonna try it, I'd suggest using it maybe a month or more in advance just so you know what you're getting into, but I think it's worth it just for the extra peace of mind. If you combine all these elements, a really good tire, maybe an insert, maybe a really sticky sealant, then you're gonna have a fast and probably flat-free gravel race setup. But let me know what you think. Is there a better tire? Is there a better insert, a better sealant? Let me know in the comments. You're probably wrong, but maybe I'll listen if you're convincing. And you can find all of these products on our website, theproscloset.com. If you want to purchase anything, if you use our coupon code, you can get $50 off your first order of $200 or more. After we get our tires dialed in, the next thing is drivetrain, but we're gonna have to wait for next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you later.